Row 18, plot 20.
Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I'm Jim. I just watched a Shudder movie, a Shudder original movie called From Black, a 2023 film, 1 hour and 40 minutes, 4.8 star rating, rated that midpoint, with just 500 reviews so far. So a recovering drug addict, desperate for closure and saddled by crushing guilt after the disappearance of her young son, is presented with a bizarre offer to learn the truth about what happened and set things right, if she is willing to pay a terrifying price. How dark is she willing to go for a chance at redemption? Directed by Thomas Chese, who also did some writing, and the other writer credited is Jessup Flower. Anna Camp plays Cora. She's the lead. John Ailes plays Abel. He would be also a lead. Then there is a character named Bray, Jennifer LaFleur, and a character named Wyatt. Travis Hammer played Wyatt. Bray Wyatt. WWE fans, wrestling fans worldwide are going to recognize that name, Bray Wyatt. It took me a little while watching this movie that I was hearing Bray and Wyatt, and then I put them together and I was like, this writer is a wrestling fan, and he worked in Bray Wyatt, The Fiend. I don't know. I don't even know. It has nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. There's some other characters as well, but we are really focused on Cora, played by Anna Camp, who also, to my surprise, it's not a surprise, but I recognized her after a few minutes. She's aged a little and her hair color was different, but she was in the Pitch Perfect movies. And if you follow me on Letterboxd, I think I have Pitch Perfect trilogy included in my guilty pleasures list. I don't know. I'm a sucker for Pitch Perfect. I love it. High School Musical, whatever. Don't judge. So that synopsis talks about the addiction right away. Recovering drug addict, desperate for closure and saddled by crushing guilt. I do not particularly like movies that are very story driven about recovery, because it takes away sometimes from the horror elements or building towards horror in horror movies. Like, I get it for dramas, I get it for other things, and I'm not saying that you can't use that as part of a story device, but in this case, it was, in my opinion, overused. And the reason why we do recovery type, whether it's drugs or whatever, it's to take away credibility from the lead, and that's what this movie was about. Cora is our lead. She's a recovering addict, so when she starts having these things happening and she tries to tell them to her probation officer or therapist, whatever that person was, of course nobody believes her, and that is driven hard in this movie, and it didn't really need to be as hard as it did. In my opinion, I think we only need a little taste of that and then we get it. There is a lot of visions and memory flashbacks or thoughts going on with Cora. There's just an underlying kind of depressing mood, which I think, it's obviously intentional. She's grieving the loss of a disappeared son. So the music is really heavy, and it really was also used to intensify scenes that we were supposed to feel tense. And sometimes movies too heavily rely on the music to direct our emotional state while we're watching a movie. And I just don't know that that worked 100% in this too. Sometimes there is such an imbalance between the dialogue driven scenes and then the suspenseful scenes that the music just amps up, and the music is creating the jump scare instead of a visual thing creating a jump scare, if any of that makes sense. And I don't know, it just really wasn't working for me. There is a demon spirit thing. I did like the voice, but it's also very a common-ish style of voice to use for a demon. It did continue to call Cora, child, come to me, child, that kind of thing. They attempted to do a WTF ending, but that also didn't work for me. The movie did end with a lot of unanswered type questions, like just a lot of unanswered questions, in my opinion. So, I don't know, 4.5 star rating is probably where it'll stay. I can't imagine it's going to go higher. It was nice for me to see Anna Camp in this movie. It made me look her up on IMDb to see if she's been in other horror movies. And her lists of other credits. It doesn't look like she's done anything outstanding that I would want to watch, but I was happy to see her in this. The other character that I mentioned, Abel, as being the second lead, he was okay too, and John Ailes played Abel, and Abel and Cora kind of end up having like this mentor-teacher style relationship, and he's gonna show her the secret way to deal with her missing son. And that, I get that story. It was the story that they had there was decent, and then there was that, like I said, that kind of like a WTF twisty moment, which it didn't really work for me. It might surprise some other people. But not necessarily for me. But yeah, so if you have Shudder and you want to check this out, you can just do that for free on your Shudder account. And if you do, let me know what you think of that movie, or if you just want to talk Pitch Perfect. I'm open to it. Right down in the comments below. Have a great day.
So have your dream. Go on and sing your song. There's nothing wrong with singing out of tune. If people laugh and say your dream can never be, just think of